People often think that stigma is, long-term for, I guess, prejudice, but I don't see it that way. I think prejudice is a symptom of stigma.
I think that, hate and ignorance and fear and all those things do cause stigma. Things that people don't understand, they'll, label as, off or wrong, or, they're scared of what they don't know.
It can totally drain you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, in every way.
Well, the first occurrence of the word stigma actually referred to a scar from a hot iron. So stigma to me would be the scars left by the hot prejudices of other people. It's the infliction of shame based on their biases and their misinformation.
As an advertising professional in my career, it's a very male-dominated, very powerful personality type industry. And I noticed, wow, me, Michelle, as a woman in an ad agency, did not get the same respect that my old self, Mike, got in an advertising agency. It was a wildly different experience.
Stigma affects a lot of people. For me, I spent most of my life in hiding from my true identity. That had a huge impact on what I did for a living and what I did as a person. And it also had a huge effect in that it caused me to have some mental illnesses. And so bottom line is it really can mess up a person's life. It did mine, but thankfully that's not the end of the story.
My parents, who, not conservative, they're very open. They've had, gay friends in their life, and unfortunately have had friends, that went through the 80s that had AIDS, that had died from AIDS. They've had that, but their own son coming to them and telling them that he was bisexual was a tough thing for them to swallow. So right away, they were worried about health issues. Right away, that's the first thing. And, bless my parents, I love them, of course. They want, they want a healthy son. So that stigma of, that right away, the fact that I'm going to be, intimate with men, that means that I'm at a higher risk.
If you're living with some kind of stigma of some sort of lifestyle or maybe disease, like in my case where it was Hep C, well, it can really affect you.
Stigma affected me really bad. I fell into a depression. I stood away from the gay community for about 2 years. For example, the first time I ever got stigma was I just lost my partner. I finally came out. It was about a year after, and when I met this guy, I brought him at my house and I told him about my HIV status. So probably about 15 minutes after, I had to go to the bathroom. And I had a staircase coming up my apartment, and I could hear him just running down the stairs as fast as he could. We're already segregated because we're gay. And within the gay society, we're shunned because we have a chronic disease.
When I came out as gay, they stripped me of my credentials. They told me don't return, and that wasn't even enough for them. They contacted my university, which was a Nazarene university, and they had my credits revoked. Credits that I paid for, credits that I worked for.
Stigma really changed my life a lot. It brought me from being a very extremely happy person to living in very dark places that I never knew I could even go to. It made me feel like I wasn't human anymore, really, stigma. It made me feel like I was a walking shell of a man. Having people look at me and treat me like, oh, I'm around him, I'm gonna get what he has just by 'cause he's breathing on me. or he touched me, oh. And those kinds of stigmas can really affect a person, especially somebody that, you know, is a pretty fun-loving individual most of their life. Having somebody go from saying they're your soulmate to, boom, you're gone out of my life completely. I got treated better by strangers when I was a homeless heroin addict that was sick in the streets of Victoria than I did afterwards by people I grew up with, people that turned their backs on me and stuff.
J'ai été affectée par le stigma quand j'ai fait ma transition. Beaucoup de gens me disaient comme, ben là, peux-tu revenir en arrière, comme, c'est pas quelque chose qu'on voit tous les jours, soit les gens étaient vraiment, c'est weird. Moi j'ai eu beaucoup de réactions comme quand j'ai commencé à faire mon coming out.
So I'm Michelle Laird, founder and creator of UBU Atlantic and founder of the New Brunswick Transgender Health Network and vice chair of the Nova Scotia Rainbow Action Project. I mean, really, part of making tomorrow better is coming to terms with yesterday, right? Yes, of course, but we can't change it. You can't change yesterday, but you can come to terms with what yesterday was like so that tomorrow is better. Right? That's what therapy can do for you. That's what it did for me. And without it, I don't know that I would have had the strength to do the things that I do now. The work that I've done in the community. I don't think I'd have the nerve to walk out my front door in a skirt the first time, you know? And that was horrifying. It was terrifying.
I got to a point where I realized I was losing me and that I was close to losing the last bits of me that were there.
Well, the first step I did was I went to go see my family doctor. I got help for depression. And finally I said to myself, like, you know what, Pat, you're number one in your life. Like, you're number one to yourself. Don't leave them stigmatize you. And I'm very open, like, to telling someone I'm HIV, because I've been positive for 25 years now.
Right? We have a responsibility to play in our own lives. We can't forget that. And I, as a person, was one that once I experienced stigma, I just developed the stance that this wasn't acceptable for me. I was not going to put up with it.
The way that I've been able to fight stigma, or, you know, to claim who I am, is to just keep living with love and not give in to the hate.
I felt like I was on the edge of a cliff and I was going to fall. And I figured, well, if I'm going to fall, I might as well jump. And I jumped both feet in, and it was actually one of the best experiences of my life. I found out that there are not as many people that are homophobes out there. There are a lot of very loving, very encouraging people. And I found a lot of support both from friends, some of my family, co-workers. Sure, there was the resistance as well, and there still is, but there was enough positive to make it a great experience, and my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner.
I want to try and help get rid of some of that bad stuff out there and help protect people and educate them and hopefully make a little difference in the world, make it a better place, and give people hope, make them realize they're not alone.
La manière que j'ai été chercher mon identité, c'était juste d'être moi-même. Je me suis dit, j'ai juste une vie, j'ai juste un vaisseau. Je peux pas gaspiller mon temps à faire attention à ce que les autres pensent. Je veux juste vivre ma vie, faire ce que j'ai à faire, puis moi être heureux. S'ils sont pas heureux, ben ils peuvent juste l'apporter, ils peuvent sortir de ma vie. La thérapie que j'ai suivie, le fait que j'ai pris mon courage à deux mains, puis que j'ai été voir les psychiatres, et que j'ai travaillé sur moi-même. Aujourd'hui, personne ne pourrait dire que je souffre de borderline disorder. Mais il faut vraiment le faire pour soi-même, pour s'aider soi-même. C'est beaucoup plus facile à vivre.
We're all you know, and we all have insecurities and we all have fears, and it's okay. It's okay to be weirded out. It's okay to not understand. It's okay to be ignorant, but be open.
Je dirais que c'est très très important de parler du sujet parce que avec l'éducation, on ouvre beaucoup plus d'esprit.
Education is key. In any case, across any platform, across any issue, getting out there and telling people about it, the human component of it, the tragedy that can come behind those who are suffering so badly the pressures of social stigma. You know, we have to educate people as to the fact that this is taking lives, this is causing disease, this is causing isolation and depression, self-harming.
And there was a point where people that were hateful and people that were, prejudiced and homophobic, and really that stirred something inside me, which was hate. And now it's switched, because now I don't feel hate for them, I feel pity. Because it's sad to live a life with a heart full of hate. And it's sad to navigate through your day and through your life in having to decide or, look at somebody and why would you hate them instead of why would you love them, or looking at the things that might be negative instead of the things that are positive, just because of the fear and the ignorance.
Acceptance is really important, I think. People that are very sick or facing certain stigmas in life, whatever it may be in their life, they really need a support system, friends, family, people that understand, even strangers. And there's a lot of beautiful people in the world that are very supportive. And like I said, there's so much hope out there. Takes a little fight, but don't give up the fight.
In order to have a better, more fulfilling, happier life, sometimes we have to force ourselves to make these steps, to take these uncomfortable chances and say, I need to ask for help. Huge problem, right? Asking for help is very difficult, but that's the step.
My advice would be to realize that other people's opinions of you don't really matter. They really don't, because they can't live your life. You have to live your life. And so be the best you can be. Be true to who you are, and forget about what anyone else has to say about it, because we're awesome, each one as we are individually.
You can just be yourself and let people do what they do. That's how everybody can, fight through nonviolence and non-aggression, is be themselves, love themselves, and, and be accepting and loving of other people.
D'aller chercher les gens qui sont positifs, les gens qui les acceptent comme ils sont, puis surtout c'est ta propre vie, c'est tes choix.
Hate wants you to hate. Love wants you to love. So don't let hate in.
Heterosexism and the transphobia and misogynistic experiences, those are issues that if you're not able to stand up to them, will put you down. So either through communities, support groups, personal growth, whatever it is you need to do to build up your ability to stand up for yourself. You need to do that in order to survive this and make change for your larger community, right? Because once you become stronger, you can help someone else become stronger, right? And through helping other people is the best way to help yourself.
Let's just be open, relax, chill out.